How many of you know what the 6th of June was, 1944? Raise your hand. 6th of June, 1944 is known as D-Day. But what's not very well known is that before this difficult day, where 175,000 troops, 175,000 troops were sent into battle a month before the invasion of Normandy. They sent out some soldiers. Some of you that are historians may know this story. They sent them on a secret mission, and they sent them out with buckets. And they went all along the coast of Europe. They sought for a place where they could have a safer landing, where the soil may be manageable enough for them to bring in an invasion force from Great Britain, and the Allies could come together. You know what they did with that bucket? They went and got buckets of sand. Did you know what those soldiers that were sent on this mission did? They said, "What's this for? I can't imagine with my training. They're sending me out to a beach to come back with a bucket of sand." That's exactly what they did. They sent them out. They had those buckets marked, and they came back with a bucket that had Normandy Beach on it. And I want you to know there was 50 miles of beach that they felt as though would be safe and secure enough for a landing, even though there was such great danger that would be there. Looking back, we can look back to what took place, and we can see that there was a whole bunch of things that caused a chain reaction that brought liberty to thousands and millions of people. They call it the longest day. Movies like Saving Private Ryan were written, and they were put on the screen. When you look at this, you understand that Hitler was an elephant in the house that had to be dealt with. The Nazi philosophy was an elephant that had to be dealt with. We've seen this again and again in history. We're seeing it happen again. We're seeing it happen in South America. We're seeing it happen in the Middle East. In other words, you may need to thoroughly attack the elephant in your house. Now, I began to think about this, and I began to think the world seems to be once again coming to pieces, but the child of God has peace when the world is coming to pieces. I'm bringing you a bucket of dirt from their Normandy Beach. I'm bringing you buckets of dirt from places where there have been hellish altercations. I'm going to bring you buckets of dirt in the next few minutes, and if you walk out of this building without a song, shame on you. If you walk out of this building thinking, "Oh my God, this world is going to hell in a handbasket," listen, bad news sells. If you want to quit listening to bad news, turn off the television. If you want the nightmare to stop, wake up. What I see that's going on right now is the world is playing mankind, and we don't even understand what's going on. Listen, you're a part of another kingdom. You've got a song in the night. You've got a song no matter what you're going through. Okay, think about old Joseph for a minute, man. He is sucked up. He didn't see it coming. He doesn't want to be around his brothers. His charismatic mouth got him in trouble. He's thrown into the pit, sold into slavery, alienated from his family, and family was important to people in Joseph's day. Generations were important to Joseph. And there in that lonely place of Egypt, God began to elevate him because he didn't lose his glimpse of heaven. He didn't lose his ability to believe that God was bigger than Egypt and bigger than its power. So he gave a bucket of dirt to his brothers. And the bucket of dirt that he gave to his brothers was forgiveness. And what he did was beautiful, because he said, I'm Joseph. And they fell on his neck and they wept, and everybody in Pharaoh's palace heard them weeping. It brought forgiveness to his brothers and brought hope to his family in 7 years where there was darkness and trouble over the whole earth. Do you think that God has a bucket of dirt for you today? I think Job has a bucket of dirt to give every one of us. He fell into a place of darkness and the lights went out. And there was trouble, and his children were all killed by an invasion force. Everything he had was stolen. The bucket of dirt that he had for us this morning is that he maintained his integrity no matter what he was going through, and he did not curse God. We need some men like that. They'll come back with a bucket of dirt and they'll say, listen, this is where you can land. This is where you can be sure that God can give you the victory. Now, if you have peace, you don't have to come to pieces. You don't have to fall apart if you'll come apart and be with him. I brought you a bucket of dirt from a place you can land and deal with the enemy. And you can make your charge that will change the face of this world, just exactly like the Allied troops on June the 6th, 1944. And I want you to start this morning with praise.